I'm Chris with iPhone in Canada with a look at a Bluetooth keyboard case for your iPad Air. This is the ZAGGkeys Folio. In the box, you get the case and a micro USB charging cable. Now, this is the black version. It also comes in white. Now, the case feels very solid and does have some weight to it. It has a leather texture that gives you a nice feel in your hands. It's very thin as well, the keyboard portion coming in at only 6.9 millimeters. So while you're not adding a ton of bulk to your iPad Air, you are adding some weight. You'll really notice it, especially if you're used to holding your iPad Air without a case. The ZAGGkeys Folio has several openings around it. On the side, you have your micro USB port for charging the case, an on-off switch, and the Bluetooth pairing button. On the bottom, you have a cutout for your Lightning connector. It's perfect for the Apple Lightning cable, but it can be hit or miss with the others. You also have access to your volume buttons and the mute orientation switch. On the top is the opening for the headphones, and again, it can be hit or miss with some headphones. The iPad Air snaps nicely into one side of the case. You'll have to use a little bit of force to get it in, and that can be worrisome because the side feels a little bit flimsy. Now, as you can see on mine, the headphone port has broken. It's worn down and broken after a few months of putting the iPad Air in and taking it out. Now, I wish it was a little more solid, but then you're looking at making it a little bit thicker, so it is a bit of a trade-off. So like the Apple Smart Cover, when you flip open the case, the iPad will automatically turn on. The Keys Folio has a 135-degree adjustable viewing angle, so it works in almost any situation you may need it in. Taking a look at the keyboard, you have all your standard keys, and they are very responsive. They feel and act very much like the Apple keyboard. Now, along with your standard keys, you also have a lot of unique ones designed specifically for your iPad Air. They are all laid out nicely along the top row. You have a home button, which acts just like your iOS home button. So by double tapping it, you can also bring up your multitasking. You have a lock button to put your iPad Air into sleep mode or wake it up. There's a Siri button, undo, redo, show and hide, the keyboard on screen, copy paste, and the volume buttons. Along the bottom, you also have a couple of other buttons, a battery life indicator. Now, depending on the color it shows you, it'll give you an idea how much battery life you have left. Now, speaking of battery life, the ZAGGkeys Folio is a beast. Depending on how much you use it, it can last up to 3 months or longer. I've only had to charge mine a couple of times. But my favorite feature, and one that will also have an impact on the battery life, is the backlit keys. To turn it on, you have a button along the bottom. There are 3 brightness settings, even cooler. Now, ready for this? You can change the color. By holding the backlight button and then pushing on the right arrow button, you can move through the various colors. There are plenty to choose from. It offers some really cool customization and looks really nice. Overall, I really like the ZAGGkeys Folio. One concern I do have is it doesn't work well as an everyday case. It's very uncomfortable to hold and try to use the touchscreen comfortably, so you're having to put the iPad Air in and take it out often. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the case portion that holds the iPad Air is thin and feels a little flimsy, but again, when you're going for thin, there has to be some trade-offs. My concerns aren't enough not to recommend this. This is a great Bluetooth keyboard case, well worth the $100 price tag. If it's not the best Bluetooth keyboard on the market, it's definitely right up there near the top. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a like. It helps me grow my channel. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos and giveaways, and make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'll have a link in the description below. For more daily Apple and iOS news, make sure you check out iPhoneincanada.ca. I'm Chris with iPhone in Canada. Thanks for watching.